Dennis DeYoung has written songs that defined rock in the 70s and 80s, and because of his hook-laden, melodic masterpieces as a founding member of Styx, lead vocalist, keyboards, and I think the Uberheim synthesizer, Dennis DeYoung continues to fill venues and recently had 85,000 listen to Dennis and the music of Styx at one mega event. Dennis DeYoung is credited with writing 7 of Styx' 8 hits, but he wrote a lot more than that, and now brings the music of Styx to venues across America and around the world. Want a sample? Go to DennisDeYoung.com. Since there are no more record stores, you can download Dennis and his music and the music of Styx wherever legal digital downloads are found. Please welcome a guy whose voice is still intact and sounds better than ever. Welcome to the Marc Berman Show, Dennis DeYoung. Dennis, welcome.
Thank you. You sure do talk pretty.
That's my regular speaking voice, but I've been disguising it all these years just to get a job.
I never thought you had a falsetto.
I had a falsetto for about 15 minutes, and I put a salve on it, and it went away.
Oh, my God. I thought, when you did that, I thought I had Lou Christie on the phone. Wow.
Yeah.
Lightning strikes again.
That guy, right?
Yeah.
He seems like a decent guy. Is he from Jersey?
I don't think so, but he may be.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have Bon Jovi, Springsteen, and Sinatra.
What more do you need? Let's not be piggish.
That's right. Well, actually, Glenn Burtnick.
There you go.
Jersey Shore guy.
You see what I'm saying? You put those four, it's like finding the Pope and the pizza there, the four of them. You could say, hey.
Well, we have great musicians here. This is the entertainment capital of the world, Atlantic City.
You got to spread it out. Des Moines can use a few. So have a few of those guys from the Jersey Shore move out to Des Moines.
I have to ask this. Everybody wants to know. I have to ask, will there be a reunion of the Trade Winds with you and Chuck?
Actually, there's going to be a reunion. Paul and Ringo and myself.
But we're not going to see the Trade Winds.
One of them passed away in '96, so it puts pressure on things. And one of them is semi-retired, I believe. So,
wow.
You still got me. You got the accordion boy. He can come out and play a polka for you if that's your idea of a night out. So you got that going for you. And I can tell a joke once in a while.
Yeah, but when I put my 45s on, these little records with a hole in it, and I put the needle down, to me, it's the guy who's singing the song that counts. I got him on the phone right now, for crying out loud. Are you kidding me?
No, here's what I'd say. Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling. Now, that's pretty good for 68.
Oh, no. You still have your pipes, because I watched you in 2 concerts that were recently filmed, and one of them by a guy in the audience with a camera phone, of course. There will be no recording equipment in the venue.
Now, for those days, if you brought a camera into a concert 25 years ago, they might cut your arm off.
Hey, Dennis, where did the name Styx come from?
Greek mythology. It was we were asked by the record company to change the name of the band, which was not a great name to begin with, which was TW4. The T and the W coming from Trade Winds. Aren't they clever? Oh, God, no wonder they're successful. And we had like 4 or 5 names, and Styx was the name that nobody hated. So when you got to get 5 guys to say, what are you going to call yourselves now? Styx was the name. We went with it, and many times I've thought to myself, just another 4-letter word. Okay,
well, I was in a spelling bee. I spelled it S-T-Y-X, and I lost like $10,000. They asked me Styx. Spell Styx. No, I'm only kidding.
I know.
So I watched this thing from last year. I mean, we could talk about the Styx days, and we will a little bit, but I watched this thing from last year, which was a concert you did live in Los Angeles, the music of Styx. How did that come about?
It was a TV show for Access TV. It was actually 2014. And Access called and said, would I like to be on this thing called the Headliners Club? And I said, yeah, that'd be good. So we went to the El Rey Theater in L.A., and we filmed it, and then afterwards they gave us the rights to give it to Frontiers Records, who made it into a 2-CD DVD package, and I think there was a Blu-ray as well. And so that's how it all came about. It was really because of a TV show. So we walked in there day of a show. It wasn't like, a concert where you get to really plan it out. But we just walked in there and played, and they filmed it, and it turned out really nice. And I'm proud of it because I think for anybody who loves this music, what we're doing with my band, with my guys, Jimmy Leahy and August Zadra and Dave Anthony, Craig Carter, Jim Basucci, and my wife, Suzanne, I handpicked these guys to recreate the sound and the spirit of those records that people seem to have a great affinity for. And so that's what I did. and that DVD CD, reflects it. Like I said, you can go to my website, DennisDeYoung.com, or Facebook page. I don't know if it's on Facebook or not, but certainly on the website, and you can see 4 songs right there, and then you can say, hey, that guy's still got it, or hey, he sucks. But that'll be up to you. But I think it's a really good representation of all the Styx hits, not select ones, but all the ones that people tend to like. And
I got to ask you, where'd you find this guy doing the Tommy Shaw leads in the band? This guy's great.
My son found him on YouTube, just like all the stories.
Wait. You found him on YouTube?
Yes, it's like a cliche now, but it's true. My bass player, who had been with me for 10 years, was leaving the band. I was looking for a bass player to sing high, for the real high parts. And my son sent me he got me up at 12:30 at night, and he said, go look at this. And August was in a Styx cover band called The Grand Illusion, and he was doing Too Much Time and Man in the Wilderness and, the Renegade, the whole thing. And I thought, well, because I'd been very reluctant to put anybody in Tommy Shaw's place in my band and not really do the music justice, because I'm a firm believer if you can't have the real guy, you better have somebody that's awful good in that spot, and not just somebody who can, get by, but somebody that really does it. And brought August in, and that was about 5 years ago, and so I rearranged my whole band, handpicked the bass player, and, there you go. So that's how it happened. I wasn't looking to do that, but I said, neither Styx or myself for about 10 years played all the songs that people really want to hear. They don't want things divided into some idiotic camp as to I won't play that guy's song, or so to speak. So we do them all, and people have come out and they've said that's right. That's what we want. So we give it to them. What the heck? That's what I sing for my supper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but listen, we got to go back a little bit. You did something that kind of broke ground. You did Fanfare for the Common Man, predating Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah, because Aaron Copland wrote it, and he predated them. I think, it was, we were trying to figure out on our first album, we actually recorded the whole thing, start to finish, and then the producer of that record, because we weren't in charge of producing our records at that point in time, he cut it down to the shortened version, which is really, it's too short. We did the whole thing, we did it in concert, but, we were looking, we thought, okay, what can we do to make us the most pretentious? And that came to our minds.
Wow.
So we did it, and then Emerson, as always, Keith Emerson is always copycatting me, the son of a gun. The truth of the matter is that I copped a lot of stuff from him and Wakeman in the beginning. And then I got my own style, which was essentially an accordion player with a synthesizer.
No, listen, you know what you did? I think you did this. I know look, if you listen and you read the blogs and everything, there's people that'll talk about everything and anything and all that. But I do really like that you in Styx mixed piss and vinegar rock and roll and power ballads. How unique and how encompassing can a band be? You covered it all, and you did it with style, and you did it with class, and you did it in America Spoke. Look where you are. You're one of the top bands in American music history.
Well, I think, the very first song that I wrote and sang for a record was Lady, and I wrote it for the first album, but the producer turned it down, so we put it on the second record. That was written and recorded originally in 1972. And when it was released, the record company said the radio stations didn't want to play it because it didn't fit a format for them. It was neither a ballad nor a rock song, which Lady is really a rock song after it gets going. It starts as a kind of little pretty piano ballad, then turns into a full-fledged rock song. And there weren't any, and since the power ballad hadn't really truly existed, we couldn't get any play on it because they said to them, here's what they said, and I'll never forget it. They said it starts like the Hollies and ends like Led Zeppelin. So
that's good.
That's what radio programmers told us. So, and it was just really a natural expression of a song I had written, and then we had James Young in the band, who was a hard rock guy, and when it's a little bit like Reese's Pieces and chocolate coming together, if you know what I mean. When the chocolate bar falls in the peanut butter, and then you got something that's.
And that's what you did.
That's what we did, and we didn't mean to. I will take responsibility for all the bad power ballads that followed. But we didn't mean to do that, and we weren't really trying to copycat anybody. It was just those two things coming together at the same moment, and like I said, we were just making stuff up. We didn't know what we were doing. What's
favorite song you've written? What's your favorite?
Let me go check my accountant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. That's a good way.
After he tells me how much. It's probably a song called Esmeralda from a musical I wrote, because...
Wait. This is from the Dalmatians musical.
Oh, I wrote a musical before that. It was written in 1994. It's called The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I did one of the first of those, and it's a song called Esmeralda. And the reason it's there's like 2 or 3 songs from that show that I always quote as being my favorite, only because... Not to denigrate Come Sail Away or any of that stuff, but when I listen to Come Sail Away, I know who wrote it and how it was written. When I listen to the other stuff, I think, who wrote that? And how did that get written? Because it seems, when I listen to it, it clearly seems beyond my capabilities to write a song like that. Yet nonetheless, I was able to. So that I'm disqualifying why I say that. Now, for the rest of the world who thinks, what's wrong with this guy? Who cares about that song? It's probably Come Sail Away. Although Show Me the Way, I like an awful lot, too.
My favorite song is Show Me the Way. Love it, hands down. Can't get enough of it. Can listen to it all the time and feel good. And I know that you originally wrote the song for your son Matthew as a pseudo-hymn about the struggle to keep faith in a world so filled with hatred. Is that true?
Yeah, he went through a tough time at age 9 and 10. And, it's painful for a parent to watch their kids struggle. And I was writing it for him and for myself as well to say, what we all want, the question that's on everybody's mind, whether we're cognizant of it or not, is that who are we? How did we get here? And where the heck are we going? Those are the 3 questions that nobody really knows the answer to, no matter what anybody tells you in any infomercial.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, in the meeting between you and Eric Cartman, where did that take place, and how did they decide on Come Sail Away? What is that all about?
Yeah. Matt Stone, who's one of the guys, the creators of South Park, really out of the clear blue sky. It was like 1995, and he called me up, and somebody had told me he wanted to talk to me, and they said they were the creators of South Park, and I thought, well, gee, what's that? So, I wasn't really hip to it, except for kind of like I knew it was a cartoon show. So I went and I started, looking at it, and I thought, oh boy, okay. So he called me up and he said, Dennis, I wanted to do this thing where Cartman sings "Come Sail Away," and I said, you're not going to do a Barbra Streisand army, is that what?
I remember that episode.
So he said, no, I was a fan when I was in junior high or high school. I can't remember what he said. I had a radio show called the Paradise Theater Hour. Oh. He was a fan, so I just said I didn't know anything about it. Smartest thing I ever did. I never made a better decision to allow those guys to do that because what it actually did was these guys were the hippest of the hip at that moment in time. And by them using that song, and it was the episode where Cartman figures out who his mother is or his father. His father's his mother. I can't remember, something like that. It just opened the floodgates. And since that moment, my music has appeared in, I think, over 30 motion pictures, countless TV shows, some commercials. I get requests every week for usages. Shrek
is one.
Shrek. Obviously, Adam Sandler was a fan. it just never stopped. And, so that was a really wise decision. And people are under the misconception that somehow I would view that as a negative, and certainly not. I know what the intention was, and for God's sakes, Isaac Hayes ended up singing "Come Sail Away" for God's sakes. Who doesn't want that?
Absolutely.
So it was a win-win for me, and like I said, I'm gratified and indebted to those guys for doing that.
When you have time off, where do you vacation?
In my house.
Oh, really? That you just chill at home because you're on the road all the time?
I've been everywhere, and it's overrated. Go to my Facebook page, kids. If you're listening to this interview and you had a laugh, go to my Facebook page and look at the things I write on there. It's really intended to be, to lighten your load.
This is Dennis DeYoung. I want to thank you for spending a few minutes on the Marc Berman Show.